Presented by Altus, your trusted Oracle partner. Oracle Receivables, Order to Cash, O2C cycle, simplifying business with end-to-end financial visibility. Learn how O2C streamlines revenue collection in Oracle Fusion applications.
Hi everyone. So today we are going to discuss about the very key important topic or process in Oracle Receivables. So this is nothing but as order to cash, or in a short form we can use O2C, order to cash form. So what is the order to cash? How and where it will get started? How to move the data from Oracle models. So you must understand this product process before to work on the accounts receivable model in the real-time scenarios as well as right. So Oracle Receivables and Oracle Cash Management. So Oracle Receivables provide integrated functionality to perform day-to-day accounts receivable operations. Receivables functionality is managed from these working areas. Let's say example, billing, receivables balances, revenue management, and the credit management. So these are the 4 buckets is the key significant of the buckets in accounts receivables. As I mentioned that billing, receivables balances, revenue management, and credit management. These 4 buckets are having the different kind of strategies in order to working on those areas. So all these work areas will provide access to general ledger account activities, including accounting, creating manual journal entries, and etc. Right. So this is overview of the order to cash. We can discuss many things also, but this is a very high level information about the order to cash. Okay, so let's get into the chart. So this chart will provide the complete information about the order to cash process flow. So here you can see, as I mentioned, that this comes under the Oracle umbrella. Under Oracle umbrella, we do have the finance models, which comes as a AP, accounts payables, receivables, general ledger, and cash management, fixed assets. So this everything comes under the one ERP umbrella as a subset of the finance models. So here, when you say order to cash, this will be integrated with your SCM model as well as SCM stands for supply chain management. So orders will comes under the SCM model and receiving will comes under the finance model. So these are the 2 categorized or classified the O2C flow. So order management, credit management, order fulfillment. So these 3 activities would be happening at the OM level, which comes under the supply chain management. And once the customer will place a order, so based on the customer need, choose the product and identify the which are the products he wants, and you will go for next step says that place order and then fulfill that order, and then shipping order and customer invoice. So once order is shipping, then what is the next action? So the invoice will get generated over there, right? So invoice will get generated and then it will move to the accounts receivable application, and finally it will come to the collection as a payment collections, and then move all the transactions from the order management to accounts receivable. All the transactions will be moving to the general ledger model, which now coming as a reporting and data management. So this is a very high level diagram which will demonstrate about the O2C cycle. So we'll discuss one by one thoroughly next couple of minutes. So before that, just I would like to share you some accounting entries also in terms of when we creating the orders. So here you can see order to cash entries, pick releases. So when pick release will happen, the entry would generate like receiving inventory, item expenses or material account credit, ship confirmation, COGS, COGS, cost of goods sold, right? So it will get debit, and then receiving inventory is a credit. While create a transaction, see, keep in mind, when you talking about accounts receivable, you should not use as an invoice. It should be as transactions, right? So while create a transaction against sales order, then the accounting entry would be receivables debit and revenue account is credit, freight and tax. If those things are applicable to your transaction, then it would be applicable, or else the entry would be like receivables debit and revenue is credit. Against this transaction, we need to create a receipt, customer receipt, right? When customer make a payment against his order, so that we'll be recording the receipt against transaction, right? So here you can see in receivable there would be a lot of just like a couple of stages are there. Ship, just when create a receipt, confirmed cash and remit cash and cleared cash. These are the different kind of stages are there. So accordingly I place the accounting entries here. While record receipt, when state is confirmed cash debit and receivable account is credit. When remitted the receipt, the state is remitted cash and confirmed cash is credit. While reconcile, cash account debit and remitted cash is credit. So this is the orally the accounting entries will get generated in the O2C cycle. Apart from this also, there would be some other entries also. If you see, when you create a receipt, let's say example, you receive the collection but you don't know who is the customer against this transaction. It's a receipt. So in this case, we can create a receipt without customer name, which unidentified receipt, and identified but unapplied the receipt. So there would be covered different situations of the accounting entries will get generated based on the your transactions or receipt information. Okay, so these are the very high level information about the O2C cycle, and get into the thorough discussion of it. So move on to the here. Yeah. So here, as I mentioned, that Oracle family products. So as I mentioned, is a Oracle one is ERP is one umbrella. Under that umbrella, we see there are 5 to 6 finance models are there: accounts receivables, payables, general ledger, fixed assets and cash management, tax and fetch, fusion accounting hub. There are many things are there, right? So here each individual model would be integrated with their subsequently another model, as well as all the finance models are integrated each other. When you create a customer, the customer would be, you can see in the receivables and payables also. When you see there is some kind of activities where you can see the customer also as a supplier, right? So it means that these all the Oracle ERP modules are integrated with each other in the application. That's how the Oracle has designed the application. So here, if you look at order management, receivables and general ledger and FRS nothing but as a financial reporting studio, right? So here, how to create or type of create year transactions in the application. See, there will be two different way of sources to create invoices or year transactions. One is that through OEM. So again, as sales order, so we can import year invoices from the OEM. Is order management. And other way is that import invoices from the third party applications. In other words, you can say legacy system, where the client is using multiple source applications to capturing their day-to-day transactions without Oracle over there, right? So these are the two ways we have. So here we need to keep in mind, when we are importing invoices, transactions from the OEM, there won't be any kind of disturbance, because it's a standard process which laid by the Oracle. So when the sales order got completed, it means that sales order lines get closed. Automatically that particular sales order will be ready for to import invoice from the OEM to your accounts receivables model through as a standard process run auto account import invoice program, and then move the data from OM to your open interface table receivables, and from there we can run again import program, auto invoice import program, to create a invoices in the accounts receivables. That's a standard process which we have. But the thing is here, keep in mind, when we are working the real-time world with the multiple applications, right? So here, when the customer or when the client is importing invoices the transactions from the third-party applications to your Oracle application, in other words, SaaS application. So here, this is the process which you need to follow. This is the complete process which you need to follow in order to import invoices from the third-party applications. So here, data file or source file. Ideally, the third-party applications will be mapped to your custom templates what we are using for the source files, right, to get the data. So those things we called as a data file or source file. Don't get confused, both are the same. Ultimately both are same, data file or source file. Source file, nothing, it will be represent about the third party application, which application we are going to receive the data, right? So in this place, what we need to understand as being as a consultant, we need to see what are the fields are there in the source file, how our system, our SaaS application will be validated or review the source fields which is there in the source file, and derive the or to try to import invoices based on the availability of the information in source file, isn't it? So here, first of all, need to understand data fields mapping for external system or applications. So here, based on our seeded things what Oracle is provided to us, based on that fields we'll talk to our source system application. So these are the fields which we have in place. So in this case, how we are going to map the data fields from the third party application to your standard Oracle application, right? Once we customize that template, the data source file format, and then we'll try to import invoices from the that particular format. So here, after we finalized data file or source file completely, and then technical teams will create staging tables. So what is the meaning of staging table? Staging table is nothing but where we will be creating layers in between the two applications. So we can't directly import air transactions from the third party application to your SaaS application, because the format is different which we have in the SaaS application. In this place, we need to create a staging table. The staging table will be capture the information, transaction header level information and line level information as according to your source application system. And once we place these source system application data into staging table, so what the custom integration will do, it will go and validate all the information, and then it will map to our required format in the SaaS application, which is nothing but as a CSV format, comma separated value formatted. So here, after validation from the staging table, so what we'll do, the integration has the capability to extract the data from the source file and then create CSV format in the FBDI template, file based data import, right? This is the one of the tool which Oracle has given to us. So the integration will extract the data from the source file and keep that information into your FBDI template as the CSV format and move the data from source staging table to your UCM server, which is nothing but as a universal content management, right? So here the data will flow into the UCM server. So till here the integration will take a place. It says that do the validation and verify all the good data, and all the good data will be converted to the FBDI template, the CSV format, and the file will be placed into the UCM server. Up to till here, Oracle, it is a technical team, will be take a place on that and move the data. So once the data file, it is the FBDI template will get generated and placed into that, and then after standard process is there, nothing but as a where we need to run the ESS jobs. So once the APD template is placed in the UCM server, we need to run ESS job called as load interface file for import. So this program does that. Go and look the file and bring that file from UCM server to your interface tables. That's what the job will be doing it. So once the file is available in the interface table, and then we need to run the import invoice auto invoice program. So once you run this auto invoice program, it will pull the data from open interface tables to your base table, right? So once the good data, everything is available in the interface table, the data will be flowing into the accounts. I mean, it's like your base tables, here base tables. So that's how the third party will be transactions will be creating into the SaaS applications. So this is the process, is a standard process across all the applications. I mean, say like whenever you work in the accounts receivables, this is the approach you should take it up. So in this process, you may see some kind of like a disturbance. Let's say example, missing invoices, or says that like customer is not available, or something like when we see some kind of information. Let's say example, interface error tables, right? What are the bad data is there? That data will be stored under the interface error table. So that in that time, what we have to do, being a consultant, go look the error tables, why it is not created, what is the error source, error message, and do more investigation on that and take a next action on that. So this is overall view of the accounts receivables process flow of the invoices.
Thanks for watching. Explore more Oracle Fusion insights with Altus. Need a personalized demo or consultation? Reach out to our experts today.